Welcome to Jerry's Fish Room.
Welcome back to Jerry's Fish Room. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today. Thank you so much to all of you that have subscribed, have watched my videos, have commented. I've enjoyed some of the questions. I've enjoyed the back and forth. So keep those comments coming. Just leave me comments. Tell me what you think, what you want to see. If you have any questions, let me know. I absolutely, again, love the engagement amongst fish keepers here. And so, thanks a lot. Keep, give that video a thumbs up if you like it. Keep hitting the subscribe button. For those of you that haven't, if you really enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button. And then ring that bell for notifications. And then that way you'll be notified every time a new video drops. So, why are we here today? We are here to take on Brandon, the Blind Fish Keepers Challenge. Now, what was that challenge? Very simply, blindfolded, put a tank together. Try to aquascape a tank and do it without being able to see. See, this is how Brandon lives his life on a day-to-day basis. He keeps 9 aquariums. And yes, he is blind. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. I've been inspired by, his devotion to the hobby, the way he loves to do things. And so with that being said, this coming week, I'm looking forward to it. Totally stoked. Yep, Aquashella Orlando. Bring yourself here if you can. If you see this video, let me know in the comments if you're going to be here. I will be there both days. I will be with Brandon, the blind fish keeper. We can't wait to just get there and to interact with Ben and Drew from Fishy Biz and KG Tropicals, Primetime. They're all going to be there. Aquarium Co-op is going to be there. Man, it's going to be an exciting time here in Orlando, Florida. So please, if you can make it, man, come down and see us. If you can't, man, I hope our paths cross at some time. But if you do make it, look me up. Jerry's Fish Room. I want to meet you. Wanted to shake hands with you. Would love to just have a conversation, get to know you. And after all, that's what Aquashella is all about. Yeah, there's a lot of products. Yeah, there's a lot of things to see. Yeah, there's a lot of places we can spend money. But bottom line is, I love the people. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is to be able to connect with fellow fish keepers in this hobby. So, with that being said, enough is enough. Let's get at it. Brandon, I'm going to give it a shot. So, here's how I've set it up, okay? Just to give you a little background. I've got a 10-gallon aquarium sitting here behind me. Thank you, Community Aquatics. That's my local fish store, for donating that to me and to also cut me a little bit of discount on some of the plants I'm going to be using. I have back behind me, I do have a bag of Imagitarium black aquarium sand. Over here to my left, which would probably be your right if you're staring at it, the video, I have a box, in fact, of a box, a plastic container, plastic tote with all kinds of aquascaping things. And I'm looking forward to, I have no clue. I have not pre-planned this. Not come up with any ideas other than I'm putting black substrate in the bottom, and yes, I'm going to do that blindfolded, so hopefully it ends up in the tank and not on the floor. And then once I'm done with this, I got 3 or 4 plants over here. They're Rototella, and there's another one I'll have to look up, and then a couple of little small pieces of Anubias nana, and I'll try to figure out how to make all this work. I'm not a stem plant guy, at least not been very successful with it. If you've checked out my 180, I planted it all up really nice. 2/3 of it was stem plants, and bottom line is gone. They just floated away. I don't know. I'll figure it out, but we're going to go with these stem plants today, and we're going to try to aquascape this bad boy. And yes, I'm going to try to fill it with water blindfolded as well. So that's kind of where we're at, so let's get started. Alright guys, so here we are. Here's the 10-gallon. I've got another camera set up over here, my phone, and we'll see how that works out, trying to do something, not just doing a tank for the first time blindfolded, but I'm shooting a couple different camera angles and see if I'm good enough to edit all that together so you guys can get a good feel for the experience. So yes, Brandon, just so you know, you can't see through it. So I am going to go blind. And man, hopefully through this, one of the things I look forward to, guys, is to be able to just understand and experience and relate to my fellow fish keeper Brandon as he goes through this each and every day. So here we go. We're going to give it a shot. So I did pre-place a couple things, so I kind of had an idea where I'm at. Got my trusty scissors here. My 20-pound bag of Imagitarium. See if I can do this without cutting my fingers off. Okay, I'm trying to feel basically the depth here, and we're going to go from here. Let's figure out where this tank is. I hope that's it. Nope. That would not have been good, guys. That was the other tank. Alright, here we go. Alright, so this is a different camera angle I wanted to give you, and as you can see, I'm starting to pour that Imagitarium black sand substrate in there and spreading it out with my hands, and I'm going to have some background music going on at the same time, as I don't think I'll be talking for the entire time while we're doing this. But one of the things that I love to do with my tanks is I like to have kind of a hill, or as you can see towards the back, usually both corners, but I think in this particular case I only did it in one corner. Again, wanted to do a bit of a voiceover because I had to speed up the video, because when I got done taping it was about an hour and 5 minutes long, and I wanted to get it down to 18-19 minutes, and so I'm just smoothing things out. And now here you see still blindfolded, starting with the plants. Grabbed a I think it's called a rototella. I got 2 of those from my local fish store. And switching back to the side view here, I'm planting into the corner the first rototella. And again, these are stem plants. I don't do so well with them, but these had a little better roots on them. And planting that second one in those top right corner, in the back right corner, where I had that thicker substrate, because you want to get that down a good 3 inches to get it hauled in. And here I'm putting the piece of black lava rock in, and one of the unique things I saw about this is the sand. Depending on the different angle in the close-up, it looked a little brown, but now that I've finished, you'll see it is black. Here I have some of that Mapani driftwood, which is supposed to sink and stay, right away. And then sticking in here a piece of small piece of spiderwood that I bought online. Bought like 4 or 5 pieces, and kind of just felt my way around to figure the one that I wanted the best in there. And so now I'm grabbing that, I think it was called a Sturogyne, Sturogyne plant. Kind of a short, bushy plant. It had a decent amount of roots, and so put that into the back towards the back left side of the tank. And again, grabbed another piece of the Mapani driftwood. I had picked this one out when I was at my local fish store because it had a bit of a crack or whatever that ran lengthwise on both sides of it, and thought it would be very good to try to utilize to put these rhizome plants. Here I'm putting the Nana in, and we're going to place that towards the front left corner. And sorry for my head getting in the way, but you'll see I placed that there in the front left corner. Realized one of the things I forgot about doing was making sure I had space for my sponge filter, so I had to make a little bit of an adjustment there, and sticking the sponge filter back in the back left hand corner of this. And again, I'm trying to be very descriptive because of course Brandon's going to be watching this, so I'm trying to build a picture for him as I put it in. And then right in front of that sponge filter, I went ahead and placed the other piece of black lava rock. And so basically everything is in, and now comes the fun part, trying to fill this tank without being able to see. I've got a Python kind of a hose, I guess what they call it, a hook, Python hook, which I'm using, and as you can tell, I'm very cautious as the water is just barely coming out. I play with this. I'm looking for the basically the right flow. I do have a plastic bowl that, and I always do this, I love it, especially with these smaller tanks. Try to fill it into the plastic bowl and kind of let it spill out of the plastic bowl. That way it keeps the sediment in the sand, you know, the small fine particles from cloudying up the water. I do that quite frequently when I do these smaller tanks because again, you know, there's just not a lot of depth to that tank, and so you can really move around that substrate. Again, here I'm using the black sand, but I plan on going back and, like I think I stated earlier in the video, and changing that to or adding to it some shrimp substrate that will help soften the water. Again, here I'm filling it up just for this challenge with regular water, but ultimately I'll drain this tank out and replace it with distilled water that's been remineralized, so I can go ahead and get my Caridina shrimp in here. This was took a little longer than I expected, and again, part of it I think was because I was being very cautious, but you know, as you can tell, I'm just kind of gauging it with my fingers where the top of the water is, so we finish it up. And so here you see me finishing this thing up, and we're gonna move on to the next step. You'll see, I'll do a zoom in here pretty closely so you guys can see, but we are done. I just got done putting the hose away, and when I came back, I will be honest with you, because if I told you this is perfect, it worked out perfect, it wouldn't, I'd be lying to you, and I don't like that. So everything is basically where it was at, but I did notice that the two pieces of Malaysian driftwood that I had in the tank, while they stayed there for a good part of the time, when I came back, I guess they decided to float. So for now, I've got a little rock in here holding down the tank, or the Malaysian driftwood, with the Anubias Nana on it, and then I kind of pushed this one down a little bit further, but wow, lo and behold, there it was. Also, the sponge filter was floating, so I ended up squeezing it like you're rinsing it out so it could take in more water, and now it's settled down. And then I stole the light from my nano tank over here, put it on just so that I could show you guys what we've got going on. So, all right, guys, so this is a zoom in on it and what it looks like, and looking pretty good. I'm kind of liking it. I think the only thing I would change a little bit is to shift this this one piece of lava rock. My intent was to try to get it over here, but again, trying to figure all of this out without being able to see it, man, I can't emphasize enough, is hugely difficult. And so I'm absolutely blown away by Brandon and what he does. So we're going to go ahead and add later. I'm going to get some shrimp substrate to soften the water. I'll probably pull a little of this sand out, but basically just the intent is I'm just going to cover this up with the stuff, and then run it that way for a couple weeks, see how the pH settles in. Again, running with distilled water and remineralizing, and then ultimately we'll figure out what kind of Caridina we're going to put in here. But all right, guys, so there you have it. My first attempt at aquascaping, blind. I took your challenge, Brandon, and absolutely am just blown away by trying to do it this way. And man, realize how much I rely on my eyes. Man, again, just so encouraged by your brother. Appreciate the challenge. Look, why don't you guys try it? I want to challenge you. Let's get this thing going in the fish keeper hobby. Let's go start seeing all you YouTubers out there. Come on, let's start pushing for this. Let's do the Blind Fish Keepers Challenge. You will appreciate so much more the hobby, I believe, when you try to do something that looks like this. And so, guys, man, I can't emphasize it enough, man. See you guys next week, Aquashella, and you know what's coming next. That's right. Keep loving the fish.